Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to some Wolf Talk. And what we got going on today? Well, it's companion to the 4-minute video, which went over 100 views. Thank you, everybody. Another minor milestone for me. That's another video over 100, which, hey, I'm totally grateful. But we're going to dive into some of the endings to the Game of Thrones series finale because, boy, we got some stuff to dive in. First, let's talk about Jon Snow. He saw it coming. You know, he didn't want to believe it. Like, my queen, my queen, my queen. It basically took Tyrion kicking him up around the ass, figuratively, to say, hey, the woman has gone mad. You have to do something. John's tried one last time for sweet reason. And Dany, oh my God, she has gone past homicidal. She has gone to straight up fanaticism. You could just see it in her eyes, the glow of, I'm going to break the wheel. I'm going to save everybody because I know I'm right. And just the look in her eyes of just pure fanaticism. And it showed the entire time she was talking to the Dothraki and the Unsullied. She has become a pure fanatic. Sorry, it's sinus season and my sinuses are going apeshit, so you're gonna have to deal with the snorting. I apologize now. But oh my God, what a fanatic Dany does, and of course she gets killed. Jon finally has to sack up and kill Dany, and for a second you think Drogon's gonna kill Jon, but Targaryen blood, but somehow catches everything on fire when we're dealing with soot, dust, and snow. Drogon eventually melts the Iron Throne, which was kind of cool, but boy, like Jesse said, that was a really bad special effects for that. Then carries off Dany's dead body. Jon gets thrown in the dungeon. Why didn't the Unsullied just kill him? Why didn't Grey Worm kill him? It makes no sense. But we're going to pause on Jon because we'll get back to him later. Then we get to Tyrion. Why wasn't Tyrion killed instantly? Because Jesse did a video on this. She makes the point, why didn't Dany just kill him right then and there? Why'd she arrest him and leave him in the dungeon? And of course, we had like a jump of weeks where everybody's trying to figure out what the fuck are we gonna do because suddenly Bran is there when he wasn't there before. And I'm sorry about the beeping. People are going slow. Life of a truck driver, people. Life of a truck driver. But anyways, we have pretty much a Council of Lords. Grey Worm is there as leader of the Unsullied. Now, Jesse was wondering, why are there so many thousands of Unsullied and so many Dothraki? Well, I've come to the conclusion Dany did not bring her entire army north to fight the White. I think at best she maybe brought half her forces. That's why she had so many more Dothraki. And it was said that only she lost about half of the Unsullied, and there was about 8,000 of them. So she had about 4,000 left. So yeah, and she maybe lost maybe 50 of them during the entire attack on King's Landing. So Jesse, I'm sorry to say, yes, there were still thousands of Unsullied left, at least 4,000, maybe 3,500. So yeah, there were thousands of Unsullied left, but the way Graham is like, there's thousands of you and there's thousands of... No, you're probably looking at a 2 to 3 to 1 ratio of Northmen versus the Unsullied. The Unsullied make a good fight of it, but the Northmen would just overrun them with numbers. And, of course, the Dothraki, like I said, I don't think Daenerys brought her entire army north. I think she brought like a third to half of it. A drink for the working man, as Jeremy would say. But that's why there's so many Unsullied and Dothraki horde left. But we have a council. Tyrion's allowed to speak, and he pleads his case for Bran to be made king. And, of course, they went with the plot leaks where Bran the Broken, which why didn't they call him Three-Eyed Raven, gets crowned king. Now, some problems in this scene right here. One, Yara didn't declaim independence for the Iron Isles. Why didn't she? Her father and she, during the War of the Five Kings, wanted independence for the Iron Islands and to have an Ironborn ruler for the Ironborn. She watches Sansa declare North independent nation, and Yara doesn't lift a fucking finger. The only thing she does is talk down to anybody who talks bad about Daenerys saving the Iron Isles, which Daenerys really didn't do shit except draw off the Iron Fleet, which gave time for Theon to go in, save Yara on a covert mission, and Yara just sailed back and took it back herself. So Daenerys, while drying off the Iron Fleet and taking it out, really didn't liberate the Iron Isles. Yara did. And then Sansa declares the North independent, and Yara doesn't say shit. She bends the knee to Bran. Why? What a rushed hatchet job. So yeah, Yara just completely out of character and pretty much, slobbering over Daenerys' name because Vag power. Just totally butt fucked Yara's character. And of course, Bran. Bran knew this was coming, and even when, Bran goes, makes the thing of, I didn't want it, I don't want it. And it's like, well, you take it. And Bran goes, well, why the hell do you think I'm here? And it's like, fucking really? Free will conundrum, as Jesse said. And she was totally right. Moving along. Brienne becomes a gold cloak. She becomes a Kingsguard like she always wanted. And finishes Jaime's story, which was a little bit touching, but stupid. But at least she becomes the captain of the Kingsguard, which is good for her. And Podrick becomes Sir Podrick. Well earned, but we're just kind of just doing everybody tying it off and becomes also a member of the Kingsguard, which Podrick deserves it. And then we have the small council. Sam Tarly becomes Grand Maester. Who didn't see that coming? Sir Davos becomes Master of Boats and helping with the reconstruction. So Bronn becomes the Master of Coin. Fucking really. He's just there for comic relief of, we need more brothels. Really, Bronn? Really? Tyrion. Basically, he goes up after finding Jaime and Cersei under the rubble. Somehow, it was just a little bitty itty bitty pile, even though the entire roof collapsed on him. Somehow, he managed to get in there and find them and starts having a teary-eyed moment, which I felt bad for Tyrion, but I'm just like, this scene is illogical. That seems to be a running thing with this episode. And Tyrion ends up right where he starts. Hand of the King. To Bran. That's like, I mean, granted, I guess it's kind of his penance, because Bran says, well, you're going to be Hand, and Tyrion goes, I don't want to be. It's like, well, it's your penance. You can fix everything you fucked up. And Tyrion goes, oh, all right. So, yeah. Tyrion ends up right where, and I'm guessing the small council having that talk about, rebuilding and all that, it was just shown life goes on, the kingdom goes on, but it's so circular. They didn't break the wheel, they just redid it. Now, the only good thing they did about King is not hereditary. It's when the king dies, even if Bran magically somehow fostered a child, that kid would not be instantly king. The lords will pick a new king. Oh boy. That's not really breaking the wheel there, Benny Hoffenweiss. Oh boy. Grey Worm. What a reversion. He starts off a cold killer, grows into a person who wants to head off with Missandre to Narth. She dies, he completely regresses to a warrior, not just a warrior, a homicidal maniac just bent on an unquenchable thirst of vengeance. And it's like, poor Grey Worm, they did you dirty. And then he takes all the Unsullied and fucks off to the Isle of Narth. After being offered River Run, and it's like, ugh, fuck you, show, fuck you. Another sip because my mouth is dry. His ending is just to be a bitter man. Grey Worm deserved better. Or, at best, let him die in combat. Let him go out a warrior, not a bitter man because he lost his love. And it's, ugh. Alright, getting back to Jon. The Unsullied wanted to kill him, the North wanted him free. Well, Bran decides Jon will take the black again. What the fuck is this? Why is there a Night's Watch anymore? The threat of the Night King is gone. The wildlings are friendly. Why do we need a Night's Watch? But, yeah, he goes north, goes back to Castle Black. You see him gearing up and putting the black back on. He finally has a touching moment with Ghost and, gives him a nice scratch behind the ear. Ghost nuzzles him, and it's like, talk about fan service to try and make up for the wrong you did. Fucktards. And Jon goes beyond the wall. I'm guessing he's taking the wildlings back home. The door shuts on him. He kind of looks back. He looks at Tormund and just leaves. And it's like, in this moment, I've said it before and I'll say it again. He should have just taken the black coat, chucked it, put on a wildling coat, and just said, fuck it, I'm a wildling now. Fuck the kingdoms. His story literally went nowhere, and he literally went full circle back to where he started. Quite honestly, it was just a kick in the nuts of he should have just stayed in that cave with Ygritte and never left. Just lived out his life because not much would have changed. Not really. Well, the next Stark child, because Bran becomes king. Well, we're just not even going to go there because it was kind of preordained. Because he knows all. And I'm not even going to do that. We're going to talk about Sansa. She's probably the one who has the most complete of an arc. And she just basically tells Bran, yeah, North has done so much. We're an independent nation. Bye. And Bran goes, okay, no problem. And Sansa gets crowned queen in the North, what she's always wanted. And it's like, this is so lame. And the North people are just like, well, it's a fucking Stark. We're not getting any others back, even though we're our own independent nation and Jon was kind of banished from the six kingdoms now. Why didn't Sansa just pull him aside? It's like, yeah, you're going to the North, but considering Grey Worm fucked off, the six kingdoms don't give a shit. Yeah, you're coming back and now you're king. I say so. But no, she ends up queen because it was her preordained thing, and it's like, you could have just pulled Jon aside after. It's like, okay, yeah, the North is along our border. There's no more Night's Watch, as I say so now you're Lord Stark. I say so. Here's last. I'll be queen. You can just be Lord Stark at last hearth, and there you go. Here's some men. Have a nice day. Or you can just fuck off and go to the North and be a wildling. But your watch, you no longer have to take the black. Go have fun. Sansa could have done this, but she didn't. Why? Yeah, if you can't tell, I'm just really not impressed. Now we have the Wild Child. Arya, they did you so dirty. The writers couldn't think of a thing to do with you after you killed the Night King. You kind of just dicked around the last two episodes, and now this episode, you kind of tell Jon it was a shit show. And then it's like, well, you have your teary-eyed thing of, hey, do you have needles? Like, well, you're going back to the North, right? She's like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. And it's like, well, you knew Arya was going to go fuck off, but in a complete ripoff of The Return of the King of Tolkien, she decides, yeah, we don't know what's west, so I'm just going to build a ship, get a crew, and I'm going west. I'm just going to go find what's out there because, well, I have nothing better to do. It's like, really, show? Really, guys? Really? You took my favorite character, you turned her into Ex Machina, you couldn't figure out what the fuck to do with her, so... And she's never talked about this before, but now she's just gonna go fucking west with the Stark ship, no less. Dire Wolf on the front, Dire Wolf on the sails, and I'm just gonna sail west, and this crew's just gonna go with me. I've never met any of them. I've convinced them they're just gonna go with me. I got nothing. It's a shit show. It's a shitcom. I mean, at the very least, you could have just had Gendry go say goodbye to her because all you see is the High Council, him saying, I'm an important lord now. Honestly, if I would have been Gendry, I would have bent the knee and I would have been like, you know what? I don't want Storm's End. I don't want my father's destiny. I'm going my own way. And I'd have been right on the front of that ship, and Arya could have had him like, what the hell are you doing here? Well, if you can forsake your family and everything and go west, so can I. What about you? I want you. I don't want my line. I don't really care. I was a bastard anyways. And Daenerys is dead. Her proclamation really doesn't stand, even though Bran offered it to me. I don't want it. I want you. Let's go west. Let's go do stuff. Let's be together. I would have done that if I was Gendry. Instead, Gendry just fucks off the Storm's End. It's like, what the fuck are you doing, show? So, yeah. The story's done. It's over. I guess there could be a spin-off of Arya's adventures, which I really don't give a fuck about because they've ruined the character for me. It was a rushed ending. It was a shit show. The wheel wasn't broken. Oh. one other thing that showed up during the small council meeting. The book, The Song of Fire and Ice, and we had a big guffaw because Tyrion isn't mentioned. Fucking really, Benioff and Weiss. You're just trying to throw in the Easter eggs to mollify us, but you literally went down the way of the shit show. And all I can say is, at least my watch is over. I don't even think I can bring myself to rewatch this because as great as the first four seasons go, I know how it ends, and it's like it's a really good book until you get to the ending, and then the ending ruins it all, and it's like, so yeah, I that's me digging more into the ends. I mean, the only people who have any kind of end in character progression is Bran, who his character progression kind of died when you hit the three-eyed raven, and he's just kind of there. Sansa, which she got what she angled for after the influence of Cersei and Littlefinger and ends up Queen of the North. Arya has her progression kind of ended when she took out the Freys, and then the Night King, and after that it's just like we don't know what the fuck to do. Everybody else, I mean, Brienne and Podrick kind of got the end that they wanted in their final progression. But for everybody else, they kind of ended up mostly back right where the fuck they started. Tyrion for damn sure. Bronn, pretty much ended up almost where he started. Just a little bit higher up in the pecking order. Sir Davos really didn't change. Um, Robin, Lord of the Eyrie, basically just shows up, looks like a little cocksucker, and then turns right back and heads back to the fucking Eyrie. The Uncle Tully tries to sound self-important, gets shut the fuck up by Sansa, and basically fucks back off to Riverrun. Tyrion ends up right where he started, once again, his hand of the fucking king. Well, his progression done. Dany goes to Fanatic and then dies. Yeah. At this point, I have to agree with Jesse. What was the fucking point? You had all this upheaval, all of this, and it's basically, except for a couple of minor ruffles, back to where we fucking started. I mean, I guess the whole winter never showed up. It was like there for a couple of weeks and then disappeared. You know, in with a threat, out with the whimper. I guess it was just life goes on. Fuck off development, and let's just close the circle. Even though we were trying to break the wheel, Dany failed intermission. Jon ended up back with the wildlings. I mean, it's what was the point? I'm with Jesse. What was the fucking point? Circular logic? Not a good story, does it tell? So yeah, that's me. Sorry for 18th minute me kind of just rehashing my thoughts on this. But tonight we're gonna be doing some more rehashing. I'm at least gonna get Sith Kryptonian. He's down for it. I'm gonna see if I can grab a couple other people for a different kind of panel. I'm gonna try and lead my own thing for once because this has to be talked about. So I will see if I can get Odin's movie blog, Jesse Milestone, maybe John talks. I'll reach out to him today, see what we can get together, see if we can do some. Hopefully, at least me and Sid tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern. Be there or be square. But anyways, I'm the Wolf. This was what a horrible way to end the show. Just fucking terrible. I'm the Wolf. Y'all have a great day, and I will catch you next time.